Welcome back. We have a couple guests from Mission Audiology. They're audiologists. We have Rachel Burnett. Nice to have you here today.
Thank
and
you.
we have Sunny McBride. Nice to see you again.
Thank you.
And we're going to talk about how audiologists determine the best solution for your for hearing needs, for hearing aids. Maybe you don't need them. So let's go about the first couple steps here, and that is people coming in for a general hearing test. How does one go about that? Is that part of their regular yearly checkup? That maybe their primary should say, you need to do this as well?
Well, we have a new national campaign going, and it's eyes checked, teeth checked, ears checked every year.
Okay.
As part of your good health. You wouldn't go a year without getting your teeth checked by your dentist, right? And your eyes should be regularly checked to see if prescription has changed. And similarly, your hearing is an essential part of your health. And so we recommend people, especially by the time they get to be about 50, have a baseline check, and then periodically have it rechecked.
Okay. And when you go in for your initial hearing test, let's say at this point, one does not notice any problem, and maybe people that know them don't notice any problem. Is it the type of hearing test then that we all know about for years? You put on headphones, you're in a soundproof booth, and you hear different tones?
Yeah, definitely. So that's part of the test. Before we even get to the test, what we will do is sit down with the patient, find out where they might be having trouble, what their listening goals are, and what their listening lifestyle is like.
Okay.
Because two people can have the same hearing test and
Yeah.
have completely different lifestyles.
That's true.
So once we do that, we'll find out a lot about them, and then we will educate them as well about what the hearing is doing and how it works with their brain. We'll take a look in their ears, make sure they're healthy, and then we do the hearing test that everyone's very familiar with. So they will listen to beeps, they will repeat words, and we'll find out exactly what's going on with their hearing.
Okay.
And then we talk about all the different solutions. So it may be a referral to another physician, it could be a hearing aid, or maybe it's just an annual hearing test and just follow up on it annually to make sure everything's okay.
Okay, and of course the different lifestyles that people have, and I think in this community people have a little bit more similar lifestyles in that when it comes to sound. But as we know, there are people out there who may work in professions where it can be quite loud. Maybe they're not wearing hearing protection as they should, or even their background growing up might have been in an environment where there were a lot of loud noises. Maybe they worked in an airport, saw a lot of concerts, whatever it might be. So that all comes into play, right?
Absolutely. It all comes into play. And one thing that people don't realize is that we have something called a brain. And your ears maybe respond to beeps at a certain volume level, but an important part is how the brain processes the sound. And so if you have someone who has mild hearing loss compared to someone who hasn't worn a hearing aid and now they've got a moderate to severe hearing loss, their brain has been starved of information and it's made changes over time. And so wearing hearing instruments is going to be more challenging when you first start out. And
I see.
Oh yes, and so it really takes a skilled audiologist to be able to personalize the settings in the hearing aids and work with you to get you through these tough times as we're literally trying to reorganize and re-stimulate your brain.
Right. Now, some hearing loss is normal as we age, or at least I should say frequency loss. I know a while back we did a test at home, and my stepdaughter, who is 22, had these tones. She got like an app where you could do these tones. Now my young daughter, who's about 8, could hear everything, and even she at 22, there were certain tones she could not hear. Then there was my wife, who's younger than me, and my in-laws, and it fit exactly how you would expect to fit. And yes, there might be some hearing loss there, but it was more about the frequency. It was interesting.
Right, yeah, so there are different types or causes of hearing loss, and a lot of what we see is the age-related hearing loss. And we have a hearing organ back here, and inside that hearing organ there's these little hair cells. So as our hearing starts to change, it starts to affect the same hair cells in everybody. And so we see a high frequency loss in a lot of patients, and that is where a lot of the clarity of speech is.
Okay.
So a lot of people will say, I hear it, I just don't understand it. And that's usually the first clue, I think, to get people in the door to see what's going on with their hearing.
Yeah.
There are other causes of hearing loss, or it could be related to your genetics. So it could vary depending on what we see at the test, but yes, the high frequency hearing loss, I would say, is probably the most common type of hearing loss.
Okay.
And just because hearing loss is a normal part of aging doesn't mean that you have to live with it.
Right.
Right.
It doesn't mean that you just accept it. You know, you can still do things about it that greatly improve your quality of life.
Yeah, exactly. And tell me about, in general, Mission Audiology and what kind of separates you from other audiologists out there.
Well, I'm really proud of Rachel. She's a doctor of audiology, and she's worked for me for more than 3 years. And so she's highly experienced in dealing with the population that we see here at Mission Audiology. And we feel that hearing involves more than just handing somebody a hearing aid. It's really the personalized care that Rachel knows how to do that is going to make people successful.
Now, as we know, hearing aids are not cheap. There's many different styles on the market, different price points depending what fits your needs the best. There are some that you can get that you can use your iPhone to control and all kinds of different things. What about, are there certain kind of plans people can get on? Maybe they can't put out the $2,000 to $4,000 or $5,000 for hearing aids. How can you help there?
So the first thing we do with any patient when they come in is we will do a courtesy call to their health insurance to see if they have any insurance benefits, which can help a lot with some of the investment of the hearing aids. From there, if they pay out of pocket, we do offer Wells Fargo financing, and they can spread those payments out. And we like to have that candid conversation with them to not only find a device that's going to work with their lifestyle, but also their financial situation.
Okay.
And then for people who are maybe low income, we do work with some third parties that help assist people in those low income situations. So there's really a solution for everyone out there.
Okay, so that is, it's good that not only you're checking their hearing, you're seeing what's going to fit their needs and what's going to fit their finances and how to go about that.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm sure you want to make sure that finances aren't a determinant factor of getting people help.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on.
Yes, thank you.
It's great to have you. Good to see you again.
Thank you.
And missionaudiology.com, that's the website, or you can call their direct number is 949-855-7898. Where are you located?
We're on La Paz Road.
Okay.
North of the freeway.
North
of the
Chris
freeway.
Santa and La Paz in the Office Medical.
Okay,
Right there.
yeah, I know exactly where that is. Thank you very much.
Thanks
it's
for
good
your
to
time.
see you again, and nice to meet you, and we'll
Nice
see you
meeting
again.
you too. Thank you.
All right, you take care, and folks, we'll be right back. Very good.
One of the Miller twins has a hearing problem, but she got a Lyric in her life and everything changed. This is the Lyric. It's teeny. Lyric fits comfortably at the sweet spot right next to your eardrum to minimize background noise and deliver truly natural sound quality. In fact, 95% of users prefer Lyric sound quality to their old hearing aid. An invisible hearing aid is wonderful. Finding one with zero daily hassle, too good to pass up.